Okay, hopefully there's a civil trial. And a lot of people who, a lot of people that I know here in California that watch the Karen Reed trial only watch the trial. And they may have watched somebody like Emily D. Baker or that other, what's her name? She was famous from the Murdaugh trial. She created a great timeline in the murder trial. God, I forget her name. Anyway, they listened to podcasters who were pro Karen Reed. They were really FKRs. Emily D. Baker she was the worst. She actually put out a little short video saying, I am not, my personality on my YouTube channel is not me. My thoughts on my YouTube channel are not my own thoughts. And basically, she said she's a grifter. She's a grifter. She will say what the FKR want to do to get clicks on her account. She's got 1 million subscribers. She doesn't need to be FKR to get people to listen to her. She totally, went to the dark side. But anyway. But even Emily D. Baker didn't tell her fans about the FBI. A lot of people don't know. Only turtle riders know about the FBI part of the investigation because I believe, I have no proof, but I believe the feds got Turtle Boy to pressure witnesses, really, to get the truth in their federal investigation. Now, if you're seeing this, if you're hearing about the FBI for the first time, you heard about them in the trials with the other law enforcement agency that got Michael Proctor's phone. It wasn't Canton DA, it wasn't the Canton Police, it wasn't the Massachusetts State Troopers. It was a mysterious entity. Also, who hired ARCA? It was some other entity. It was the federal government. So if you don't know anything about the federal government part of the Karen Reed trial, you should watch what I'm going to say in the next 2 or 3 minutes. So, a year before a year before John O'Keefe died, there was a woman in Sloughton, I think the city is, right next to Canton. It's right next to Canton. I think it's called Sloughton. Her name was Sandra Birchmore. She was dating a Sloughton cop, right? And she was underage. And he ended up allegedly killing her and making it look like a suicide. And it was alleged that police helped him cover up the murder. And it was like a big police conspiracy of covering up a death for, the thin blue code, the thin blue line, the blue code, code red, whatever. So the feds and Josh Levy were investigating if there was corruption in the police department. Then John O'Keefe gets killed, and the Canton police are involved, and the Massachusetts State Troopers are involved, and some of the characters from the Sandra Birchmore, like I forget the lieutenant. God, I forget. I'm losing names. Tully, Lieutenant Tully was involved. Michael Proctor might have had a small role in the Birchmore because they asked Canton for help. And the Massachusetts State Troopers were all part of it too. So the feds were wondering if John O'Keefe was killed by Canton police or Boston police officers, and there was another cover-up, like the Sandra Birchmore. So the feds began investigating, and Turtle Boy got wind of this and started pressuring all these witnesses that went to a federal grand jury. So, all the McAlberts, I'm going to say McAlberts, and you know who I mean, were called into the federal grand jury to testify, and that's how the feds got hold of Proctor's phone. The Karen Reed's Commonwealth couldn't get his phone. There's no probable cause, but the feds, they got Proctor's phone. And they found all the bad voicemails or the bad text messages he left with his friend group. And that is all they found. Now, what Turtle Boy is not telling his supporters, and what nobody knows, is this federal investigation is closed. The Karen Reed part of the Sandra Birchmore investigation is closed. Nobody has been charged in the federal indictments. All the McAlberts, they're free. There are no charges coming to them, but the Karen Reed juries, both juries, were not able to be told that the federal government found nothing wrong with the police investigators. There was no cover-up like the Sandra Birchmore case. So the former Attorney General Josh Levy, who is no longer the Attorney General, he is out of office. So he is completely not involved with the state of Massachusetts. There's a woman district attorney, federal state attorney general. She now is holding the bag, and she has to take a big step and say, look, my predecessor went after the Karen Reed trial looking for a conspiracy and was not able to prove anything. And that's how you got the Michael Proctor phone into the evidence. That is the reason that the feds were involved, and a lot of people who supported Karen Reed in this trial didn't even know the FBI's involvement. And that's sad. So hopefully in the civil trial, that comes out. Hopefully they can get the federal government to say, okay, the McAlberts, nothing, we found nothing there. Canton police, we found nothing wrong. There was no cover-up, yada, yada, yada. And it'll be interesting to see if this comes out in the civil trial.